Keep spawning culture. Haha! Okay. You guys are going to have to let me know if you can hear me. Totally doing something experimental. So I have no idea if you can hear me. I'm pretty sure you can see me. But we're going to play around. So, new format today. In fact, I can totally check the sound this way, can't I? Oh, I can. Look at that. All right. Well, you can't look at that, but I can look at that. Awesome. Thanks, Masked Mofo. Masked Mofo. I feel weird saying that. Dang it, I forgot a trash bag. Well, guys, I'm just working on this tank today. Setting up a little terrarium, a little herbal garden for the kitchen. Here at the warehouse, you can't really step out into your front yard. Well, I mean, I can because I got tubs, but you can't really step into the front yard. And I was trying to figure out where to pick your herbs, and I'm trying to figure out what can I do with these tanks. I've got all these tanks from when I was into aquaculture. That was the field I got started in, my first life science field. And I mean, sometimes I miss it, I'll be honest. So I've kept these tanks around forever. Right now, I'm in the process of cutting some of these acrylic panels. So this is an exhaust panel that I'm working on for the fan to sit in, and then a little finger hole to be able to pick them up off the tanks. And then what I'm working on, I do have to step around, is this tank still has fish stuff in it from a couple of years ago. It's pretty cruddy. It's crusty. You can see the water had gone down pretty hardcore. So what I'm doing right now, first of all, is I am trying to chip away at all of this stuff. So just trying to scrape it clean through the front. I'm actually not planning on scraping the sides and the back. I'm just going to leave those kind of, I don't know, just leave them kind of sediment, dirty. We'll chip away at it maybe at some point, but I don't really see a need to since it's blocked on all three sides, and the light will be coming from the top. So I don't think there's much need other than that I want to observe everything. So what I'll do is I've got the laser cutting some acrylic panels, so I may step away and back and forth. But we're going to try to get these in. We got some automation, so I've got some fans, and I've got timers for the fans. I've got a humidistat and a thermostat, so we'll have a heater, and we'll have humidity coming through it. So I'm going to build a water feature in there that'll fog. I have these old bags of wine cap. This is from, I mean, they're soft. You can see that, like, just squishy soft. So still smells really good though. So, and the nice thing about wine cap is wine cap takes abuse like no other mushroom I've ever seen. So what we'll do is we'll clean all this up. I'm leaving the fish were not in there when it went out. Now there may be, because there was a fish that died in there one time, and the tilapia ate it all. So there might still be a few bones in there from that, but I doubt it. But this was a tilapia tank, a breeding tank. There weren't any fish in it whenever it went to scale like this. But I used to have thousands upon, like tens and tens and tens of thousands of tilapia. It's a popular fish around here. So I was planning on selling them to the chefs, but then the mushrooms took off so well that I never ever got that far. So one of the nice things I feel like is that I'm going to leave this gravel in. So, we'll go ahead and take some of these pots out. These are just the breeder pots. The males like to have some territory, but they're still, this was at one time a planted tank. So some of the gravel in there is like a plant gravel, like a gravel to grow plants. A substrate, there we go. And with that being the case, plus all the fish waste, the water that just kind of went down, the algae that died, I'm really thinking that I want to leave this gravel in here for drainage for the plant, roots to get in there. So they got some big chunks to get through, to grow through. And then they'll have access to, ammonia from the fish waste, which will hopefully have a nitrogen cycle going. There'll be water running all through the bottom of this. We'll scrape the gravel to one side, create a pond area for aquatic herbs and plants. That'll probably go over here somewhere. But the rest of this over here will just be planted. I may hill it up a little bit into the back, but my plan is I've got two 55-gallon talls. Yeah, Brittany, I'll be growing. It'll be just like different things. I mean, even bigger, somewhat, but like I've got these 55-gallon talls right here, and I'm going to use these 55-gallon talls because they're so shallow. I can't grow a lot of plants in depth, like I can this 80-gallon. So with that being the case, my plan is to grow tall herbs in the 55-gallon talls, and then anything that can grow as carpet, small bushy stuff, I'll trim those down regularly. So this is going to be something that has to be actively maintained. But the good news is with kitchen herbs and stuff, you want to pick them a lot anyway. So we can dry them. Some of the medicinal stuff can go into my extracts. So we'll be working with that kind of stuff a lot. So yeah, we'll be doing wine cap to go with the plants. And then I have a bag of fuel pellets right here, sawdust. And that sawdust will, so my plan is to lay down the wine cap, lay down the sawdust on top, wet it all down. But of course, it's going to come after we clean some of this up. I want to get this front chipped away. Thyme would work super well. Is this the Mars mushroom tank test? A little bit, maybe. We'll see. I'm not really quite sure what I'm gonna do with it, but yeah, slack tide. Hopefully you can put some reef tanks to use. This stuff, I always find when I do the live streams that I end up never, like when I do a working live stream, I never get as much work done as I'm planning on, but oh man, hopefully that's not getting your ears. I do have some citric acid that I could use to descale some of this, and that would probably work really, really well. I also have, let me see if I can share it with you guys. Share screen. So this is my laser program. I'm using a Glowforge, and my print's finished. You can see, so I have to the left here, to the left there's the exhaust. To the right is just a sensor hole, so that's actually size so I can get the sensors through. Vinegar and a razor, absolutely. Yeah, I'm about to run and grab some citric acid or some vinegar. But the I didn't think it'd be that hard to chip off, honestly. But it's like I said, 2 years old. So, but yeah, so the hole to the left there is for the fan. The hole to the right there is for the sensors, and then I should. Let's see. We'll get that to go ahead and focus on the print. I don't think that you guys can watch the laser like actually do the cutting. It'd be kind of cool if you can. We can attempt it and see. It's almost ready. There we go. So I can go hit that button. All of this will only take. Oh no, actually I need to cut and cut. What I'll do, full power, take the speed down to 400 roughly. Same here. Cool. So if I do that, let's cancel this print. Try this again, see how long this is going to take. Oh, my eyes. Yeah, hopefully it can get you. Let's see. So we'll go back to that here in a second. Distilled white vinegar works well to break down the crusty stuff. Oh, wait, not yet. What do you mean not yet? I'm going to go back to it. I'll go back to it for sure. Yeah, let me go get some vinegar. Tell you what, let me do a scrolling banner here real quick. Banner. New banner. Oh no. There we go. Let's see. You rinse it well afterwards. Maybe try 3% hydrogen peroxide, a little vinegar, maybe not. Yeah, let me try it real quick. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go press the laser button. So let me get you guys back on that. I'm going to go press this. You guys can watch the countdown and stuff. We'll see if you can actually see the laser. I don't think that you're going to be able to. Let me go get some vinegar, and I'll be right back. All right. Because I was gone, I didn't get to see. So, did you guys get to see any laser working at all? Or did it just not cut, then be cut? Because here's the piece. I just pulled it out. And I got the vinegar. So this is going to work. Let me get this wet with paper towels. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to mix anything. Didn't get to see any lazy stuff? That sucks. I was really hoping you guys would get to. And I didn't have any distilled white, but apple cider ought to work. I've cleaned with it many times. So, I could. Oh, you could hear it do things? Interesting. All right, let's see how well this works. That's working pretty good. Super disgusting. No way.
What?
You brought that to me. No, you absolutely were. She brought me a hot cocoa. Thank you, Aislinn. All right. More cleaning. Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of cleaning. Little bit of elbow grease, but I mean it's down enough that I could work a lot better with the razor than what I was getting. Huh?
That comment says you can hear the.
Oh, hear the lazy do things. Yeah.
Did you say lazy?
The laser.
Wow, Dad.
The lazy laser.
You mispronounced it. I can't believe you.
Let's see. Now, I thought maybe you guys could see a little bit of the tank wall there, but I've got to set up some more cameras. We'll work with some of that laser cut stuff too here in a little bit. We're just trying to get the basics down. We're not going to finish this tank today. But it would be cool to get a lot of it. I at least want to get the mushrooms, the wine cap, planted and growing in. Yeah, you can just feel that vinegar loosening that stuff up. Definitely going to take a little bit of elbow grease. Yeah, that little girl of mine, she takes care of me. She and her mother both. Let's see what we can do here a little bit more. I don't want to use up all my vinegar. I got to eat my greens tonight. Some of this isn't quite scaled as much as leftover algae. with tilapia, a lot of times you want a really, okay, you can see my belly. Belly's getting a little weird where I've been losing so much weight. Anyways, you said if you use newspaper after you wipe it down, it will cut the film. Interesting. Even though I think my water heater's fucked, today's been the best day. Ed this morning, then Miss, and then later Geeky. No shit, really? I didn't know Geeky was going to be on. I actually just sent a message to him asking if he'll be on my podcast. And I told him basically, like, if we do it through my StreamYard or his StreamYard or whatever, we can enable it to where I can stream to my channel and he can stream to his channel the same interview. We can basically interview each other. So if you're going to watch Geeky, I'll try to get on there and watch too. But we should definitely be like, hey, Mossy Creek wants to get you on. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's cleaning up nice. Yeah, I used to work at a saltwater hatchery, and I got offered a job while working there to go up to the Hagerman National Fish Institute and work with their sturgeon program. Not as like a high-level employee, but even a low-level employee. I was just a technician back then, a hatchery technician. That was before I became an expert in live foods and stuff. And man, sometimes I wish I'd taken that job, because to work with sturgeon would have been so cool. But then again, mushrooms really captured me. I started growing mushrooms actually while I was working there. While I was going to college and then working at the hatchery. So that's a pretty good job. Overall, working with, I was working with primarily anemones and anemone fishes. So like, think Dory and Nemo, that kind of stuff, but also tomato clowns. Got to work with eel-tailed cats from Australia. African cichlids, which are freshwater, but the RO system that made the RO water for the reef water would come out at such a high pH that it was perfect for raising African cichlids. So that just became a byproduct of the hatchery, was these African cichlids. So aquaculture is a good industry. I think it's definitely part of the future of food. The way that I think mushroom farming is part of the future of food. You check the chat. Moss, I meant. Oh, then Moss, then later Geeky. Damn spell check. You had a greater calling. I breed cichlids. Yeah, nice. See, I love cichlids. Like New World or old, like Africans or like South American cichlids. I just had a different calling, and as much as I can make contributions in aquaculture, because there's still just a ton of contributions that can be made, I just feel like, I don't know, I guess, yeah, mushrooms called me. Mushrooms called me, and I love everything. Like, I love life. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a spider farmer. And then at one point I grew up and realized, oh, that's not a job. And then I grew up even further and realized, oh, crap, that is a job. but I already have a job at that point, so. But I love plants. I love animals. But I'll tell you, the one thing I don't like about animal agriculture, I hate the loss. When you lose a plant, let's see, I've lost 4 strains of enoki this week that were new strains I was breeding. And that made me kind of sad. But I still have 17 strains from that cross, so it's not that sad. And I never saw these grow, so I don't know anything about them. But animal agriculture is the most freaking heartbreaking thing, because you get attached to your animals. I mean, I know you're going to grow them, raise them, and eat them, but to lose them to like a fox, or you get a chicken flock going, you get it going for 2 years. It's providing you with eggs. You got a beneficial relationship. Then a raccoon family moves in and just wipes out all your chickens in one night. Like, it's just so heartbreaking. But, and like I said, not like I don't love my mushroom babies, but it's definitely not the same kind of loss with plants and well, I don't know. Sometimes I get that way with older plants, like woody plants that live a really long time. I don't know. Sometimes you do get attached to those, but farming in general is just kind of full of heartbreak. But I feel like that's a more human way to live. Honestly, it's a more human way to live with heartbreak. I'm gonna check the chat here in just a minute. I can't see it while I'm working, so I'm just kind of chatting. Let's see. Africans mostly. Ooh, man, I lost a few cows these last few months. It sucked bad. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. But we had 10 baby Angoras come into the world last night. It's give and take. It is give and take. And yeah, I used to raise Angoran rabbits. I raised rabbits. I've raised chickens. I've raised ducks and geese. And I had a breed. I was working on a new breed of duck. And I had gone through about 3 generations of it. And blue Swedes were one of my bases for it. And I had these things, and I was like, man, I'm about ready to start releasing this breed and start building up the numbers. My brood stock had finally gotten where I wanted. Had a couple more generations to stabilize the line to work with, and then lost a bunch of them. Actually, I didn't know what was killing them. Coming to find out, my geese that were there to protect my ducks actually the males were killing them, the ducks, because they were getting too close, they thought, to the females, and the females had gone into season. So we had a gander named Satan, and Satan sure did taste good after that. Yeah, absolutely, you can use city water for substrate. It's not gonna matter. By the time you cook it, the chlorine's gonna be out of it. I have a blue Swedes, but I'm breeding out the bib. Geese can be assholes during breeding season, especially. Oh yeah. Well, see, when these were pilgrim geese, they were supposed to be really gentle, but the Chinese geese that were supposed to be more aggressive that I used to have, the Chinese geese were the gentlest things I ever, well, except to Samantha. They did not like when Samantha would come up and hug me. They would come, like one time they ripped a chunk out of the back of her calf because she was hugging me. But they were gentle to all the other animals that we were raising. Yeah, Chinese are the best as far as I'm concerned. I've not raised African geese yet, but I've wanted to raise African geese. All right. We're getting pretty close to where I'll be able to start working on the inside. Yeah, that's starting to look nice. Man, that's a far cry from what it looked like just a few minutes ago. Still got a little bit of algae buildup right up here. But we'll get that off as we go. Some of this too is on the outside. But I'll clean that with isopropyl. doing this after hours because this is not a money maker. And so my personal projects have to be done outside of professional hours. So, hey, I think Samantha's still working on order shipment today, right now. She usually takes care of all the shipping for you guys. It sounds like geese just wanted to pretend to have competition. Yeah, no kidding. They're way sweeter than my pilgrims and others. Africans are about the same temperament as the Chinese, just heavier. Yeah, for sure. I like those big, chunky kind of animals anyways. That's why I like the blue Swedes. And I used to have ruined ducks. And I've had about every type of duck you can possibly have. Unless it's just a really rare breed. By the way, I'm still planning on doing a coupon code here in a few minutes. Or here in a little bit. So we'll have like a little, look at that. That's so much better. So much. You can actually see what's happening inside the tank now. So I bet I can show you through the other camera. You can see, like you can even see that snail shell there. So we've got a snail shell or two here. Here some. I've had mystery snails and Chinese or Japanese trapdoor snails. I'm halfway tempted to leave this filter in here. That's going to have all kinds of bacterial endospores and stuff on it. So I think we'll take this apart. We'll just take this apart and then leave the sponge in there. That'll be good for the plant roots. Bacteria. That'll probably even be good for the wine cap. Yeah. That'll do. Yeah, I'm going to soak it. We'll soak it for sure. First, I'm going to get a feel. Yeah, look at all these. There's all these snail shells. That's going to be, all these snail shells are going to be really good for calcium. Yeah, there's still a lot of that plant material gravel in here. So now, I think what I want to do is build up the ground this way and leave a pool over here for the aquatic plants like watercress and things like that. Watercress is a really nice salad plant that kind of cuts back. You can cut back constantly. If I was going to do this for more aesthetic purposes, I think that I'd build the gravel up in the back and create a slope. But I don't think that I really need to do that. Especially if I'm going to focus on like carpeting plants and things. I don't know. It may still behoove me to do that. Sink a clay pot in the gravel. Oh, for the watercress? That's a good idea. I have these two clay pots here. That's not a bad idea at all. So I've got this one. So that could easily go in there. You talking about for the water feature? That's a really interesting idea. I could keep everything. Goodness. I would keep my pond fogger in there. I don't even really know if I need a pond fogger, though. It should be putting out enough humidity just from having the water feature in there and the lid closed. But it will be venting air pretty regularly. There's a lot of CO2 in this room. What you guys aren't seeing is that right here where I'm at is usually to my right when I'm talking to you guys on the podcast. The camera is not, it's only a few feet over from where it normally is, and it's normally facing that way. So incubation is right here past this 55-gallon tank. Plus, I have a rack. I don't know if I can get that rack over here. Oh, here's another one of those panels. Hey, Jake, this is just an informal hangout. This isn't really a podcast, even though it's coming out on the same channel. Just something for me to do. Let me see if I can get this over here where you guys can see it. So this... Okay, so you can see part of it. This is my plant rack. So this is where I'm going to start all my seeds here. There's lights on every shelf. So what they do is they warm the shelf. The lights warm the trays. So you guys can see the lights right here. So as they're on, they warm the trays, and they're all daisy chains. So I only have to plug in one thing. So like here. I come down over here and plug it in. Oh, hold on. Spider webs on the prongs. Ugh. There you go. So you can see now each one of these gets plenty of light. And then they'll get heat on the underside as well. So the heat, even though they're LED strips, really helps with like germinating peppers and tomatoes and things. In fact, I'm about a month late on my peppers. The sickness really pushed me back behind on stuff. On my top shelf up here, I have my seed bank right here. It's like every possible seed that I have ever kept. But like, we'll do some microgreens. So we're going to do some oat grass. We're going to do, we got a bunch of pepper seeds to plant in the next few days. And we'll probably do some content during that as well. But we've got a lot of this stuff. And then incubation is on the other side. And what I like about that is that it allows me to use, even though I have an HRV, there should still be a higher than average amount of CO2 in this room. So it helps the plants especially since I put all of these plants on this wall. Everything is on this wall, and the HRV comes this way. So you get CO2. It's not enough to be a buildup, but over there is less CO2 than there is over here. So what's up, Jacob Howard? So we got Jacob Wools and Jacob Howard. Glad to see you guys. Question, do the shells help neutralize the acid substrate? Seems the calcium might be more beneficial to the pH. I'm sure that it does. I'm sure that it can help too, but the substrate there really shouldn't be very acidic. So hopefully not acidic at all. We'll get this gravel shaped, and then we're going to add the wine cap down, and then we'll add the wood pellets. And then at some point we'll start adding water. It won't be a ton of water at first, but just a little bit. Oh yeah, I need to soak this, don't I? I've got a little thing over here. If you guys remember, in the old podcast, I had a terrarium in the background, and that terrarium still has water and some other biologicals going on in it, but it's no longer pretty with a waterfall and everything like it used to be. It's coming back because this whole corner, Samantha knows that I'm really unhappy unless I got other things to play with, right? Because I can't just focus on one thing all the time. So Samantha's got me, I've got my Palladium over here, Palladium, which is water and land. I have a mushroom growing tent for tropical species and things I want to experiment with. 55 gallon tall, 80 gallon wide, and a 55 gallon tall, and then my plant racks, and I got all the tubs out front. So we end up doing a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's going to have some wine cap in it. It's not a full-on wine cap terrarium, but it'll be stuff that I want to cook with. Basil and mint is absolutely great. Rosemary, thyme. I'm just going to play around with a bunch of stuff. Jacob, I love to hear it. I really did do a lot of research into Dr. Lloyd Lung's work, as well as some other people, and really focused on building a liquid culture premix that would outperform everyone else's. It's amber colored, but there's no way to get around that because maltose is the sugar that best protects from genetic drift, harmful mutations, and basically enzyme blindness. It is the single best protection against enzyme blindness. Barney Rubble. Genesis 31:54. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mountain and called his brethren to eat bread, and they did eat bread and tarried all night in the mountain. I'm not sure what is okay, that's cool. Crap. I was going to quote you another verse back, but it's slipped my mind which one I was going to use. Let's see. Oh, let's start shaping this a bit. Oh, I'll get it to the terrarium cam. So this is kind of what I wanted to do, guys. I wanted to have an informal hangout where I can play with some new stuff, get the camera switching, hooked back up, because in a couple of weeks I've got Josiah Patterson of ET Fungi coming on. So this week is Dr. Ed Grand. Ed Grand's going to be on the show, folks. That's super cool. And then the secondary thing will be that we're going to have Josiah. So I want to start having growers as well. I don't actually want every week to be an interview. I do want to do, so Jacob Wolves, I want a video of your farm so that we can break that down, but I'm going to get other people's farms as well. And then I want to do, like, once a month I want to do a farm breakdown. Once a month I want to do an interview. Maybe 2 interviews. It kind of just depends. But I definitely want to get like a grower. There we go. Like a cultivator point of view. And then I'd like to have a scientist on as well. So if I do 2, I'd like to have someone who focuses on something that we don't normally, like Alan Rockefeller, because, you know, he's still mushrooms, but he's not really a cultivator. But then I want to also have people on who deal with cultivation day to day, because I'll be honest, guys, I'm not as much of a cultivator as I used to be. And I recognize that's why people watch me a lot of times. Let's see. Fish are pretty, but I haven't had much luck with them. Yeah, I mean, it takes a certain type of, I don't know, a person, talent. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that you're not that type of person or talent, but and enough trial and error. But part of it, man, I mean, I got trained at one of the best, one of the best fish hatcheries in the world. So, you know, a lot of training is really cool. And it's super helpful to have a mentor. See, there is evidence in the Torah that shoe bread contained cannabis and psilocybin fungi. I'd be interested in that evidence. I don't know anything about it, but I would be interested in seeing it. I have just now started reading The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, but I don't really, I'm not far into it at all. I have the video ready and uploaded. I should send you a link. Yeah, you should, Jacob. Thank you. No hurry. We got a couple weeks. All right. So we'll do that one like that. And then I think I've decided we are going to mound up the back. Look at that monster. That was a big boy at one time. That's another thing I would like to get back into is raising mystery snails, but not raising them for, well, I mean, raising them for the aquarium trade, but in Asia, they're eaten a lot as escargot. They're eating like Thai in Thailand and stuff. They're eating with like Thai chilies. Oh, yeah, look. There's a little tilapia bone right there, which will be good for the fungus and the plants alike. So I'm not too worried about making this perfect for the plants because we'll be doing this, but we're going to be adding the wine cap spawn and we're going to be adding the sawdust. And then after that, I'll be adding mushroom compost and dirt on the top. There, that gives us, starting about here. Oh, you guys can't see that. There's another, like, let me show you. There you go. You can see it now. So that's about what it looks like right now. So, let's see. He's been trying to incorporate termite fungi into his vivarium. Who has? Oh, have you ever seen Ants? Oh, Ants Canada. Yeah, I freaking love Ants Canada. Renee, I don't know how I missed your comment earlier. Ants Canada is one of my favorite channels ever. Like, that guy has my dream job. To be fair, I have my dream job. Breed snails for the puffer. Yeah, I used to do that for the puffer fish, but also I used to raise assassin snails. Let's see. I didn't know he's been trying to do termite fungi. I mean, heck, if he needs help with that, I can probably help him with some of that. Not that I can help him get it fruit, but I know Dr. Oman has cultures of that, and he was working on getting it to fruit. I need a mentor. Anyone local that reached out gatekeeping hard. That's common. Yeah, the gatekeeping's pretty hard. It's not as common as it used to be in the mushroom world, but it is still pretty common. Unfortunately, it's more common than I would like for it to be. Oh, this is so soft. It's so soft. So for you guys who may not have seen this, this is actually, this is just a wood chip bag. But this is all Tree of Heaven. This spring, this last spring, so almost a year ago. Day 116.24. So about a third of the way in the year, March or so. My kids went and cut down a ton of this Tree of Heaven that grows out behind the warehouse. We chipped it and then sterilized it and threw out wine cap on it. Actually, instead of just seeing my back. Definitely has that asparagus kind of smell to it. Definitely going to have to add some water too, because I can't leave that wine cap in there as dry as it is. I may be able to refocus that camera. Maybe just a little bit more. Cool. Where am I at? So, Numbers 11:9, and when the dew humidity from the rain fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we ever know what the manna was. Mossy and Ants Canada collab would be great. I think it would be awesome. It'd be a dream come true for me, man. He's got some of the coolest stuff. You know, Ants, I was actually... I'm sure people are tired of hearing this story, but I was actually going in to study ants. The myrmecology was what I wanted to do. So that would be, especially the attine ants, the fungus farmers. I just got some liquid culture of some wine cap. I'm going to throw in some sawdust from our greenhouse. Nice. I'm about to start. I've got a couple of different wine caps that have naturalized around the U.S., and I'm going to start bringing those to liquid culture pretty soon for the spring video or for the spring grows. Did you see that recent YouTube video of someone fruiting wine cap indoors? They spawned unpasteurized dirt in a tub, and it fruited in 3 months in their basement. That's neat. Hopefully that'll work here then. Do you know whose channel that was on? So I know where to look for it. Dirt farmer. This is really funny. I've spent the last 3 days watching how to grow wine caps inside. It seems like soil compost is key. Plants will probably be beneficial also. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to add some worms to this as well for my worm farm. Man, this stuff is so soft. Wine caps are really good eating mushroom, though. I mean, that's one of the big things that I like about it. Is just it's so tasty. Smells like asparagus to me, though. Oh, yeah, you can see there's some really nice white, healthy mycelium, especially towards the bottom. That smells strongly of asparagus. Strongly smells of it. Fast Gardening, Michigan. Cool, I'll check them out. Hard for people that don't eat psilocybin mushrooms to believe manna is psilocybin fungi. I mean, it doesn't necessarily hard for me to believe. It's just I would like to see the evidence. Hard for those that eat psilocybin fungi to not believe manna is psilocybin fungi. So it seems. I mean, we just never know what manna was. It was never described. And as awesome as I think medicinal fungi is, and the spiritual fungi, and the sacrament, you might say, I'm not gonna just plug it into things that I don't know what it is. Not saying that there isn't good evidence. I just haven't seen that evidence yet. But I'm happy to take a look at people's evidence for stuff. I'm hoping to get a strain that will work well in the Northeast with wine cap. So one of the things I'm thinking is that for wine cap, I really think that as far as indoor cultivation of wine caps goes, one of the best things to do would be to grow some indoors or even get some outdoors kind, get spore prints of them, take the spore prints, do, I don't know, like a mass spore inoculation of the, I don't know, because what's fastest growing may not grow indoors. So maybe you want to do multiple cultures. So you grow as many different crosses and variations as you can, find one that fruits indoors, clone that, spore print it, do that again and again and again, and eventually you should come up with something that'll fruit indoors. Yeah, Jacob, you sent me your local wild gold, the golden wine cap, and I have that. I do plan on, I don't plan on selling it, but I do plan on putting it to some liquid culture and throwing it to some beds and then trying to breed it to some other stuff. I'm not a bot. I love Micro Community. Why would I think you're a bot? Thanks for reaching back out today about the Kings. The Contam happens to be at least once a year. We're going to try and mix the field blocks with spent seedling trays so to see if they... Yeah, I mean, a lot of times with that blotch, if you'll just clear, as soon as you see it, clear the fruits, let it fruit again, and see how that goes. That's above my pay grade. Breeding for an indoor growing. Well, that's what you got me for. I'm working on it. I'm sure Jacob Howard will work on it too as well. I can sell it if I want. Jacob, you sell it. I'd rather point people to you. Don't you sell it? I thought you sold it. Got some spit blocks to push out. A second flush when I mix them in my mom's garden. Oh, nice. So the Chicken of the Woods flat rate box today. I assume you'll have it by Friday. Also put it on some grain. I wanted to infect an oak I cut in the fall. Inoculate. You want to say inoculate, not infect. Yeah, it's cool to see kings growing outdoors in South Florida. Yeah, I imagine so. That's actually really neat. Oh, you took down your cultures, Jacob? I didn't know that. Well, if that's the case, then I guess I will sell it, but maybe we need to work on a commission or finder's fee or something. I don't know. We can talk about it. I would need to just figure out how I would track that all. Let's add some sawdust. I need something to scoop it out with, I guess. My hands would be slow, and I don't want to pour it. You know what? Screw it. I'll try pouring a 40-pound bag. I think that ought to be enough. Some fresh food for a wine cap. And of course, I didn't disinfect this tank or anything because I didn't think that would be good for the wine cap. The wine cap seems to enjoy competition. It's the Theodore Roosevelt of mushrooms. Upstate New York region. Is there a real need for dirt? I just find the whole wine cap process odd. I mean, you got to have some sort of bacteria, and it seems like soil bacteria works really well. And you're right, it is odd for wine cap grows best as a polyculture. So, excuse me. It's hot cocoa's good though. All right. So now I need to start adding the water. Might want to add some more sawdust too, but maybe we should see how much this is going to swell up first. Oh, I should put a little bit in that clay pot. There we go. Almost salmon colored. That's pretty cool. All right, how am I gonna get the water here? I'm currently blocked by incubation. Jacob, you see a lot of. I didn't know the wine cap was native to here, to the continent. I mean, I always assumed it was a European native. Who's got a spicy take on invasive fungi, by the way? Like, who's got a spicy take on invasive fungi? Should we be careful, more cautious, less cautious? How much damage do you guys think we're likely to do? I was seeing some posts earlier today. Like, should we stop growing? Should we stop letting golden oyster grow? Should we stop growing it? Should we go after it aggressively? Should we just grow that which we grow? I remember what Alan Rockefeller said, but I'll be right back. I gotta go turn the water on. And move the hose. Ah, it's stuck. It's stuck. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get it over here now. Come on. Come on. A little bit more. Watch me, I'm going to take down the entire shelf or something. Okay, let me crack this water a little bit. Oh, it's working. It's working. Jurassic Park only mushrooms. He said Jake, edible mushrooms are the least worrisome. Let's see. Let the strongest survive. I'm rather doubtful it will do anything, really. Honestly, I think there are ebbs and flows to trees and plants and mushrooms and animals that we've only glimpsed of. That was my question to him. Fungi we use for cultivation, too, is weak. I'd be more worried about the molds. Where are the giant tree mushrooms? Make them great again. I agree with that. I think so, too, Jake. Edible mushrooms are the least worrisome. Jurassic Park, but only mushrooms. Something like Australia's policies with mushroom cultures just seems absurd and does not help any by even local fungi. There are tons of mushrooms in other countries that are collected to the point of almost extinction too. Jacob, you ought to know how I should ask you about the Neurospora. Yeah, fair enough. Whoever was asking about chlorinated water earlier, see, this is chlorinated water. I've not really ever found it to be too damaging to the mushrooms. I mean, I've always watered my mushroom beds immediately. That should breathe some new life to these wine cap mushrooms. We'll have a little bit of shoreline over here for some of the wet plants. There'll be another layer of soil added on top of all of this, which will allow the plants to grow some thicker roots. If I need to, I'll build it up a little bit more. We'll add the lighting. That's probably enough water there. Let me go turn this off. There we go. That's looking good. We'll have, see, there we go. That's a nice little layer of water. Let's see. There are tons of mushrooms in other countries that are collected to the point of almost extinction too. Yeah, see, like Europe, they don't want you to collect Hericium or mess with them, but I really think that one of the best things to do would be to start cloning them and then grow their native strains in grow rooms if you want to like a spore mass release. Does it work on all food waste? The Neurospora? Spores a ways wash down to the valleys when it rains because water runs downhill. Again, that's I don't understand. That's not evidence. It's painful hard or painful not, because that was like I only had turned the thing on about a quarter of the way. The Neurospora smells like fresh citrus. Bad things don't smell delicious, maybe. You can grow on all sorts of food. Are you worried about the other spent block competing with the wine cap? Other spent block. I put both of those were wine cap blocks. I have middlings. I'm wondering if I can produce some tasty products with those. Spent grains just seem a little difficult to deal with. Again, for sure. Again, you have to be high to see it. Well, if that's the case, that's not a good way to spread the evidence. What about guerrilla gardening, but with mushrooms? I think that's a great idea. I've seen people do it. I know some people who've done it. I have not done it much. Most of the guerrilla gardeners I know are growing, are psilocybin growing. But I think you could do it with edible fungi, you know. Make some shiitake logs and put them in the shade of some plants around a church or something, or what is it? I read somewhere that Paul Stamets said one of the best places in the world to find psilocybin mushrooms was around police stations and city buildings or around in their mulch. I don't know anything about that, but maybe. They seem to do morels in a similar way as well. Yeah, for sure. Morel Tempa is a thing I've seen. Would be interesting to do some guerrilla gardening, but I'm pretty sure you won't be able to do videos about it. Yes. Yep, aquatic plants on the right side there. That's my plan. In fact, I have a little bit of the old Palladium. Not much, but it's a little bit of, that's watercress. So, I mean, if you took that and put it in the pot that we made. Hey, Hazen. What? I don't understand. Oh, the vinegar smell? There, now we have, oh, I guess I could have done that with my right hand so you could have seen it. So now I planted a couple of sprigs of watercress in that. So that'll be there. All this stuff will eventually settle out and stop floating. So, interesting. Are any nitrogen makers come with their snails, fishes, shrimps? There'll be some worms in there added eventually after I get the dirt and stuff added. I'm not really quite sure where I want to eat the stuff coming out of this. I want to be really careful about any animal life I put in there. Might put some ladybugs in there to keep aphids down. But the good news is I'll be starting everything from seed, so I don't really need to worry about aphids right now. As soon as I get the dirt in, get it wetted, then I'll go in there and I'll sprinkle basil and thyme and different things. And then as they grow, I'll uproot them and move them around where I want them. I might put shrimp in the water side, like some cherry shrimp, simply because they're not going to be crawling all over the tops of the plants, and that's really what I'm worried about. This would make a good lettuce garden, too. I've grown a lot of lettuce indoors. Authors of the Bible had to hide the mushroom evidence so they couldn't make it too obvious, but they wanted the evidence to point to it. They had to add evidence of the preserved. Oh, I mean, I think that's pretty common amongst the old religions anyways. I mean, they talk about the something mysteries. I've forgotten now the name of it. Sorry, not trying to beat a dead horse, but I just want you to understand the nature of the Holy Scriptures. I mean, I appreciate it, but the easiest thing to do would be to send me an email of some evidence. And I'm always, like I said, I'm always happy to look at that stuff, but I don't get angry. You'd have to be trying to piss me off. You'd have to be absurdly disrespectful to the point that I understood you were just being disrespectful to piss me off. So you're all right. Strawberries would be good in that tank if you made a little grow tower. That's not a bad idea. A little grow tower out of PVC. Maybe not in this tank. Maybe I'll do it in one of the 55-gallon talls. So, you could probably do that. Dollar Store has tiny grow towers? I'll check that out. I'd happily check that out. See, where did I put those? Oh, here we go. So I'm going to score this lid. Never cut towards yourself. And then, there we go. That's one. Oh, man, this didn't cut. It doesn't make any sense. I didn't cut those circles out. Did I set it on the wrong setting? I might have to go put that back in and just recut those. However, for now, let's, what is this? Like this. So, just like that. So now we gotta, this is kind of the painstaking part. Pulling all this off. Never towards your body, cut towards your buddy. There you go. Jake, when are you going to come visit the States? How productive are aquatic plants? Is there a number reference that I can look at? A number reference? For aquatic plants? I don't really know anything like a number reference or anything. But I will say aquatic plants tend to be far more productive than the terrestrial plants. They always have water available. And honestly, like here in the States, like King Kong water spinach is one of my favorites. And in fact, I've got seeds that we'll be throwing in this as well. In fact, as to Brittany's suggestion, I may put those in a pot so that they don't spread so easily, because they are invasive. Like down in Florida, Louisiana, I think it's illegal to grow, but it is one of the best greens ever, and it grows so fast. Wetland agriculture, to me, really is just kind of, it is the most efficient kind of agriculture. Depends what you're growing, cress and stuff. Yep, cuts, cattails, water spinach. Yeah, absolutely. Jake, I'm not sure. Probably not for a while until the acronym madness dies down a little. I could send a convoy acronym. Oh, gotcha. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think you'd be welcome. There are bulbs, roots. Wapato, also known as duck potato, is another good one. It grows really fast, but it does tend to need a season. I've got it growing out in tubs outside, like spent mushroom compost, and then just water filled up, and it grew pretty well. I tried to grow some Chinese arrowroot, but that did not want to do so well for me. Did not do that well at all. Did you experiment with wasabi? No, I've not experimented with wasabi. Hey, baby.
Hey. You still at it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just working on it. Well, it's only been an hour and 20 minutes. It's a little slow going with this thing. Though I did finally get the 80-gallon tank plate size down. But I did cut this one to try to cut the exhaust, and it barely engraved it. So, huh?
So I think it's where it's cold.
Well, I think I may have just set the setting wrong. But my convoy will keep your convoy safe. Oh, that's sweet. Jacob and Jacob are having a little chat.
Aww.
Shh. But no, I haven't experimented with wasabi yet. Number one, I've not really looked where to get the culture. Another is that it really needs like crystal clear cold water, is my understanding. And I don't really have that. Not the way that I would need it, I think. Oh, look at that. It works. That's exciting. So that is first panel done. Second panel is unfortunately going to need. You know what? I won't change it. I won't recut this one. It'll just have a couple of weird circles in it for whatever reason. What we'll do instead is take this on the new one. That'd be cool. Marshmallow would be cool. Absolutely, it would be cool. Heck, I think it'd probably be easier for us to go visit Jacob than it would be for us to have him visit us. Let's change this back. Let's just go with proof crate cut. I want to make this a little larger. Yeah, we'll ready print that. And then while that's thinking, marshmallow would be super cool to grow. It grows all over the place here on the islands through the summertime and stuff. So I mean, it's really common to find here on the lakes. I mean, that's really what I do with my anytime that I've not been sick. Of course, I was going to do all kinds of winter fishing this year, but the sickness really put a cramp in my style. But minute 18 on that cut. Let me go hit that button. Yeah, you're right. You can't see anything, huh? That sucks. Well, that's right. So I got my thermostat and humidistat here. We'll measure dropping those probes in and stuff here in a little bit. Air raid sirens? Oh, no. So you can hear the laser doing that? There we go. I just muted it. I just muted it so you can't hear it anymore. All right, time to score the next cut. So and right chair. Yeah. Right chair. I've even thought about streaming when I play Helldivers and stuff. Maybe not on this channel. Seems like that would be better on a different channel. But probably, I mean, you know, it doesn't hurt me to talk to people. Of course, nobody wants to listen to an almost 40-year-old man play video games. Yeah, it was the machine. My bad. Water pepper, you can probably grow too. Water pepper. I'm not familiar with water pepper. Water mint. Yeah, I've definitely done water mint. There's water celery. I've done water celery, water mint. Yeah, aquatic plants are my favorite. It kind of stems from being back in the fish. You know what I mean? So it's aquaculture. I just feel at home in the water. So it's actually where I mushroom hunt mostly these days. I mushroom hunt in the along the lake. Like an island hop, and you just go back in the island, and even in the hottest, driest time of the year, I'm able to find stuff. I mean, I haven't even started hunting Douglas Lake, and I think Lake Douglas will be one of the best places. It's a warm, so Cherokee's a cold water lake, and it's north of me, and then Douglas is south of me. Jeff City, where I'm at around here, is colloquially known as the land between the lakes. We've got like 4 lakes that we're hunting around. The big 2 are If you look up Lake Cherokee, Lake Douglas, in between those 2 is where I live. Some of the best fishing in the world, but some of the best mushroom hunting. Deer hunting too. A buddy of mine just brought me about half a deer, so that's nice. Deer's my favorite meat. I love deer. I'd definitely make another channel if you want. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't know. That would sully the mushroom. This right here is almost sullying it, right? But I put wine cap in there, so it counts. But yeah, I mean, this has not been a high audience show. I mean, people, the show is growing, which I really like, and I really appreciate you guys helping me with. Our show's only growing. By the way, guys, let me know when Myco Geeky's going on, because when Myco Geeky goes on live, I'll probably get off so I can watch his show. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I would do it on a different channel for sure. I don't want to sully this. I do want to do that bioprospector show, but it where we actually just film ourselves going out around the lake and stuff and bioprospecting. But it's been too much to carry the cameras and the field kit and really get out there much, because this past year was kind of a survival year for me. I was mostly recovering from my hypertensive crisis that I had 2 years ago. And then financially recovering from it. Because, of course, you know, when you can't work, it's hard to make money. And I hadn't been doing as much of the other stuff as I wanted to, but the bioprospecting really was helping me, because I was getting out in nature and moving around and doing all that. And I wanted to do that show. It was just too much, but I think that I could do it now. I really do. I swear I remember watching you play with Charles before. I don't know. Oh, you were on the Discord. I was just down there hanging out on Discord, letting people come talk to me about mushrooms and stuff while I was playing Helldivers. That's a little different. Discord's a lot more personal, right? I think 9 p.m., a couple more hours. Okay, cool. And I'll be done before then. I'm kind of, as soon as I get these panels done, I will probably call it a night and let things sit and work on getting soil in there tomorrow, maybe. So I am getting back to the point where I could just about, I think that I could go back out on the canoe by myself. Just take the trolling motor and the battery, a couple of paddles and stuff. Samantha probably wouldn't let me go by myself, honestly. I mean, like, I could force myself, but Samantha would talk me out of it. I mean, heck, I had to hit the breathing treatment Friday, so I'm still not super myself yet. So she would say it would probably be dumb to go out on the lake by my lonesome without a nebulizer or whatever. And I have lost my inhaler, so she's pretty ticked about that. All right. You know what? These panels will overlap, but I'm okay with that. That works out. It means I don't actually have to use the finger holes, and it'll keep stuff from bleeding out with all the humidity and stuff. Did you put together a winter culture collection, low temp fruiting? Sorry if you have. I have not done it yet. I guess I need to do that, don't I? The winter's almost over. I need to do a spring pack too. Oh, what do the leftover treatments look like? Wait, what do you mean the leftover treatments? Oh, like the nebulizer? Having some that are broken up seasonally or by temp would be awesome. I'm sure I could do that. I'm sure I could do that for sure. Yeah. Let me for health. Like my the breathing treatments are. It's just like I don't know if you're familiar with a nebulizer, but it's just ibuterol. That's the biggest thing. So right now I'm just doing every Friday I do cardio, and it's been so dry out there that and the air is cold, my lungs get really irritated. So I'm like, I can't really, as much as I love nature, I can't spend a lot of time in it right now. So I've been really focusing on nature in the lab and like doing this kind of stuff because it's like kind of the closest I can get for any amount of time. But a nebulizer goes around your face, or you breathe it in. It's basically like a fogger, like our House of Hydro foggers, but it atomizes the ibuterol. You breathe it in. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable, but it's better than suffocating. But I mean, I swear, ibuterol makes me feel like somebody has put my lungs on like a glove. Like it just feels like somebody's going, you know. And it's great because you don't suffer suffocating for hours or whatever, but it does for like hours. Nothing will bother me except for the ibuterol itself. Just feels like it's just opened up. So. Be right back. Let me go get that panel. All right, so this pisses me off. It's done it again, even though I changed the settings. So I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. So let's see. We're gonna do a manual cut. Like tank cut. I'd already had it programmed and I wasn't using it. I'm such a dummy. Oh, such a dummy. Nah, Brittany, I'm just gonna do the same thing I did on the last one, where I'll go ahead and peel this one, and then I'm just gonna get the next one to actually cut. Well, let me go hit the button. So you can't hear the air raid siren now, can you? I grew up using a nebulizer as a kid. I was a sickly boy, now I'm a sickly man. Jacob, I've had breathing problems since I was a kid. Sorry, Jacob, bring out the whole saw. It's all good. Yeah, I've just been a pudgy, a pudgy, sick kid most of my life. There's a lot of inflammatory stuff runs in my family. It just, I don't know. That's actually, I've had so much. Is there fire? Oh, you can hear that again? That is crazy. No, that's the laser. That's the laser cutting out these pieces. It'll go away here in a minute. I can't. I thought I muted that where you couldn't even hear it. That is odd to me. Do a lot of herbal stuff, and I hate it when people are sick. I always want to work out a way to make them better. Yeah, I hear that. So I'll tell you, for me, breathing stuff, I need to get it, but mullein and red clover in particular, if I carry that around my pipe, then anytime I have like a bad reaction to something, I just start smoking red clover, and it is like it immediately opened up my lungs. But I have not been doing herbalism much until this past year. Really, since I got sick again, I've just decided, you know what, screw it. I know it takes time. The problem with herbal stuff is that it oftentimes just takes time. You either got to pay out the nose for it, or it takes time to do it, which is still paying out the nose. But it's I was healthier back then when I was going to herbalism school. When I was learning how to do all that, I spent more time outdoors when I was backpacking all the time. I mean, I can't do that all now, but I've got, a lab to run and things like that, but I can at least incorporate some of that back into my life. So I need to go back on the carnivore diet, but I want to make a burger and chili cheese fries. I understand. It's burgers are good. Bread is good. I like bread. Bread is tasty. I don't want to give up bread. So makes me wonder if spores are causing issues with your lungs from spending so much time in high spore load environments. Something to eat. So, no, you're absolutely right, Barney, that I have developed spore sensitivities, which is why now I'm such a big advocate that people wear respirators in the grow room to minimize the amount of time they spend in their grow spaces Spend as much time as you want in the lab, but my goodness, stay out of the grow room if you can help it. I've definitely done a disservice to my lungs and become very sensitive to Hericium and oyster spores in particular. I've always, for the longest time, and especially recently, wanted to be like the Hericium expert. And I still plan on doing some of that, and a lot of it. And I still plan on growing it. But it may be that I start focusing on some lower spore load mushrooms just for my own health. So, do you have any herbal remedies for being allergic to cats? That would be a good one, right, Jacob? I mean, I don't off the top of my head. There's some anti-inflammation stuff, but an allergy is an allergy. Sometimes lowering stress in other ways can actually, like, I've been finding that some of my allergies are much less now that I have been getting off so much stress from the business. Like, I've been simplifying my life. I've been working on like a sauna every night, a sauna session, well, steam room session. I actually use my mushroom. I use the boiler to my mushroom pasteurizer, and then just a gorilla tent, like it's a Vivo Sun tent actually, and that is my sauna. I just put a chair in there. If I'm running a load to pasteurize blocks, I just divert it using a couple of brass valves and some PEX pipe, and I divert it to my steamer or to my sauna for a couple of hours. And then it goes right back to cooking blocks. So it's been actually really, really, really nice. I hit that sauna almost daily. And man, you should look up the health benefits of a sauna. But I have found that as I've been taking care of my stress, just in general, getting more out into nature, getting out, etc., my other allergies are not as bad. And I don't know why that is. I guess maybe my body's not redlining constantly like it had been. I'm growing, like I said, I'm trying to grow stuff that's a little less spore load, so that's a little less stress on my lungs. There are some de-stressors and some plants with antihistamines. But yeah, I don't know of anything that's like a silver bullet solution. Cat's claw and dandelion help a lot for the cat and allergy. Interesting. Kind of as a medicinal remedy with grasshopper. Butt juice seems to help with allergies. I grew up hunting. Drinking it helped a lot with my allergies. Interesting. I mean, my kids and I used to, back in the day, it was like a yearly tradition. We'd go out there and get grasshoppers, catch them in their net, in a net. We got a butterfly net. Bring them back inside and cut their back legs off, their wings off, and then fry them up. I'd freeze them first and then thaw them out. The freezing killed them, but fry them up, and man, they were tasty, like little shrimp almost. A little different than shrimp though. I need to go back on the carnivore diet, but I want to make it. Oh yeah, the burger chili cheese, golden seal and echinacea, nettles and mullein are great too. They are. But they're more I find for acute symptoms. I don't find them like it's not like a long haul treatment. I need to find a good no carb meatloaf or something. I don't know, man. Just eat the carbs. Just do the work too. Lift weights. That's what I'm doing right now is lifting weights. And man, I can eat biscuits and everything. And potatoes. And potatoes are one that I used to have a food sensitivity to. I used to break out in dyshidrosis. My fingers, I'd get these blisters up and down between my fingers when I'd eat potatoes. And I don't have that anymore now that I've started like I said, eating better and de-stressing. I didn't realize how stressful I was having it, how this business had really stressed me out. And like I said, now that I've simplified it, I've just gone down to breeding, mushroom breeding, bioprospecting, and liquid culture. And I'm not doing spawn and ready to fruit blocks and cultures and custom orders and consultations and mentorships and blah, blah. I mean, I'm still doing the consultations and mentorships, but focusing on stuff has really, like, narrowing my focus has really, really just brought the stress down. And it's actually made it a little bit easier. My finances, when I first did that, man, my finances plummeted. Ooh, it was scary. It was super scary. But then the money started creeping back in, and now it's coming back in. And I'm still not where I want to be financially yet, whoever is. But it's getting better week after week. And that's been a really nice thing. And it's been hard for me because I don't rely on fresh mushrooms, right? Fresh mushrooms are the easiest way to make an income. And because I don't rely on fresh mushrooms and I don't produce that many fresh mushrooms, I lost that income too. One more panel. Let's see. More mask for the majority of the day today. Yeah, man. I mean, I've got to. If you notice, bread ones seem to produce less for sometimes, Jacob, not always. It really depends on, I don't know, I guess how long it's been bred for. So, but I mean, for the most part, bred ones seem to be, like commercial varieties in particular, seem to be less spory. So, I did a month-long sauna program offered by an undisclosed religious organization. There are religious organizations that do sauna programs? How does that work? Be right back. Let me go grab that panel. Here he is, Mr. America. Check it out. This is what happens when you get the settings right. It actually cuts it. But yeah, Myco Geeky being on at 9 makes me think that he's actually one of the reasons why I decided to do a live show. Because I saw there were a few people doing podcasts, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, how in the world can my podcast actually offer people any benefit if I'm just another guy interviewing people? Here I am, the next, like, 3 podcasts in a row are interviewing. But I think it's still good to do. But I was just sitting there thinking, how can I make a difference? That's why, in part, I wanted to do a live show, because not everybody's doing a live show. There's a few, but it's not a huge amount. And I was trying to just figure out how in the world can I still offer something to people. So the live stream was a big part of it. I think having Samantha on is very useful. I feel like she brings something to the table that I don't have. And even though she's pretty quiet by nature, I feel like she really, when she does speak, she really brings something to the table. And I mean, let's just face it, I talk so much that it's hard for her to get a word in otherwise. But I wanted to try to figure that out. I still am trying to figure out where my sea legs are as far as a podcast goes, or as a video maker. And I wondered if I should go back to making videos. I don't know. I mean, like I could still do all this stuff, but the videos seem to have gotten more views. I don't know if they got more clicks per dollar, and that is something that's important, is to try to figure out, since I have so few crew members, since my crew is so tiny, we're really limited on labor. I have to focus on where our bread is coming in. And so I'm still trying to figure out where that exists. Is it better for me to spend the week editing a video? One of the nice things with the live streams is they're almost less work. I mean, they're actually not, but they're kind of less work in a way throughout the week because I don't have to spend time editing. I can just do it live. So it takes away the work throughout the week. Now, it does mean that on that day, like even this, I had to spend an hour or two moving lights, moving cameras, moving stuff around. So there's a lot of work in both ways, but I don't know. It's interesting. I guess it's a little strange to try to ask people, there's like 30 of you guys watching me on a live stream. And if I ask you guys what would be better, you might say live stream. But the videos, I don't know, they have more staying power. They get more views over time. And the live streams, a couple weeks after the live stream's over, it doesn't get as many views. Though I do feel like our audience is building, so it's hard for me to know. But I could go back to weekly videos and do topical videos. And Lord knows I got enough topics to talk about. I could still do interviews and then just publish them rather than doing them live. But I feel like having people on and then giving you guys a chance to interact some with them is a big deal. So I don't know. You guys can always let me know what you think. I'm constantly questioning myself and where I should be and what I should do with this channel. What's going to be the most effective thing? Should I bring the super chats back, and let people get priority for that kind of stuff? I don't know. It's a lot. Let's see where we at. Might have to PM you. I did. Oh, PM you about that. Yeah, please do, Maury. You can always email me. Thinking that could be entirely. I bought propolis at the farmer's market over the summer. That stuff was interesting. I had a cousin who really could not go outside and mow. He had to wear a respirator to mow because he was so allergic to cut grass. And then he started taking local honey and I don't know if it was wax or propolis or what, but he started taking all that stuff. And first he said he couldn't tell much of a difference, but nowadays he takes it every summer. He's got a beekeeper that's like his best friend, and he buys a ton, like a season's worth of honey off of him. And he says that it works, that it absolutely works. And I mean, he mowed the other day without a respirator. So, he and I used to live together. He and I and Samantha, and his first wife, we used to live together, and on our family property. And he could never take the turn to mow. Always hired somebody to mow because he just couldn't do it until, like I said, the honey thing apparently really worked. He swears by it. So Who knows? Maybe it works on some people and it doesn't work on others. Let's see. She also covers, my bathroom breaks, or what if I got to run and do something with the kids, or meet somebody at the front door or whatever. Yeah. She does cover. You're absolutely right. Way more value on your live show, to be honest. I really don't care for the active stuff, although they are cool. Yeah, I've thought about that. So Ed Grand's going to be on this week, so it'll be probably some actives, but I really want to talk to him about genetics and some other stuff. But I think that you'll probably find Josiah more. I'm going to see if he'll take a video of his op and bring it with him so I can upload that. Because he's actually going to come and be here in person. So that's going to be nice. Josiah, used to co-host with us. He used to be an integral part of the show. And I would like to have him back, but he's just so busy these days. Look at it. It has the holes through it now. That actually doesn't feel good. I'm going to stop that. All right. So what that'll look like is the fan will go right here. And then we'll have the sensor package. You can't see it from over there. Sensor package will be further downstream. It'll be on the opposite end of the tank so that there's always a delay on the sensor package, so it'll fully fog the environment. Actually, that's going to be backwards. This is going to go on the water side because that's where the humidifier is. And then, I'm okay. I know I'm right. This is the exhaust fan. So this goes over here. It pulls from this side. You guys got me all kinds of confused. So the air will exhaust from over there. That should pull it in through the cracks that I've left in the lids. The humidifier will be right here below my hand. It'll humidify, fog the environment. The fog will dissipate, and that'll pull a full air exchange out of here every hour or so. Is this the hope? You can see that sawdust is really swollen up, and it's built some stuff. And what's going to be cool, I hope, is getting to see all the mycelium, the wine cap mycelium, grow through this. And then I'll be able to hopefully do some pony logs, like a reishi pony log, somewhere in there. We'll be able to play around with this somewhat. I mean, you can't do too many things. It's a tank, so there's only so much space. And already by having an aquatic environment, by making it a pelagium, which is a water environment and a land element both, it already has some squish to it. There's already some more going on than what we can probably feasibly do. Where did I put the sheet? There we go. Thanks, Mom and Dad. They bought me a new knife. See, I don't think you'll need a humidifier. I think you're right. I'm not going to do it at first, but I'm not sure that I'm going to. Yes, Josiah. Yeah, Josiah will be on. Some of the stuff on the interviews are out of my depth, so it can be hard to watch, but I try to follow along. Yeah, I mean, well, especially when you get someone like Alan. Alan is so far beyond my league in what he does, at least, that, it'll be interesting. Woohoo, right on the camera, too. That's right, man. I got it. Think bee pollen helps when it's not from a local source. Don't know anything about it. Ew, is okay. You got boy, that's messing with you. It's going to be a cool looking setup. I think so. I don't think you'll need a humidifier. Just something with fog and light. I'm not a butt. Community. Well, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. I don't know. The interesting thing will be to see, like, what are we gonna have take off and thrive and whatnot. I think that I can do. The fog will look cool. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting some LEDs back in the back, and then have the fog come through and fill it. got to make sure that it has a drying out period because plants, you obviously don't want mold growing on them and stuff. So I really think that we can do a fog environment with the LEDs piercing through different colors, like here at Mossy Creek, our colors are black, white, and amber. That's like our color scheme. So with that, I think we'll have. It'd be kind of cool to see some filtered light and a kind of backlit forest, so to speak. Obviously it won't be a forest, but I've also thought about instead of doing, like, I'll do one of these tanks, maybe the one that's over here, as for tall, more woody plants. This is for more herbaceous stuff. We'll have mushrooms in every single one of them. And that one over there may just be a mushroom tank. I don't know if you guys have seen the auto environment. So the auto environment, the auto guys sent me, it's OTTO. They actually emailed me back today. They are still in business, but they have taken a break. So this prototype is actually no longer the one they're using. But I've got a 10-gallon tank where I'm doing some experimentals. And this thing, so it opens up, and this is the intake fan. So what you'll have is, whoop, it opens up so that the flap is open. Then you have the intake fan blowing the air, and this has a brain that it plugs into, and then it's a button press program. It's really, really sweet. I hope that they said by summertime they'd be ready to send me the next prototype, they think. So that'll be kind of cool. So I think that I'll do that like on that 10-gallon tank that I've got, but I'll do that over here for the other 55-gallon tall. I don't really know what I'm going to grow in it yet, but it'd be kind of cool to just do a fungal display. So someone said reishi earlier. It would be pretty neat to play around with some reishi. I mean, I don't expect to be on the League of Fungi Florists. Ooh, that's another good person to have on the podcast. Josh, Fungi Florist. And let him just talk about cultivating reishi and how he does all these things and how he gets good-looking reishi. But it'd be pretty easy. Like, you wouldn't even need a fan to do, if you just wanted to do antlers in that. RDT and 2. Someone called it Dwarven Pillars. I'm thinking about renaming it to Dwarven Pillars. But that one, I really think that could do some really cool antlers in that environment. I don't know. We'll play around with it and see. Ho-ho! Got the cord. Ooh, fancy. If you have how light that produces heat, it will make dew. Yeah, that's why I'm using the LEDs. Andrew, edit your podcast into 10-minute highlight videos to post separately. Jacob, I actually have an AI that helps me with that, and I've been thinking about doing that because I don't know if you saw that I released one that had that talked about the Mars, like when I was talking about my plan for like a Mars dome or whatever. I actually had someone get on there and write. I need to write them back. Who's a wastewater engineer, I think she said. And she was talking about one thing that I missed that I hadn't thought about. And she's right, I hadn't thought about it at all, is medications in people's waste, right? So how do you treat that? How do you remove that? That's actually a problem here on Earth. So how would you do that even further, out there? Like it's all kinds of stuff that might be a problem. But I'm thinking about doing that more. I'm thinking about like once a week releasing a 10-minute video that's a excerpt from the podcast. That would actually help A, push the podcast, and then B, it would help me to, keep doing what I'm doing, but it would help me to push the podcast and then have that video that could stand for itself. So I think you're right, Jacob. I think I just need to start doing that. Just feed it to the AI for the shorts, and then feed it to the AI for the 10 to 15-minute videos. People are utterly destroying depression, anxiety, and are ushering peace, love, and the fullness of joy by eating cannabis-infused psilocybin mushroom cookies. Seriously, not joking. I have seen that, but then I've seen people who depend on that for treating depression. There was a guy, he asked me about it. I told him to go to Sporeworks, because I don't deal in shrooms. But I told him to go to Sporeworks and where to get some information on how to grow them. And so he was microdosing. And he was just sharing his experience with me microdosing. He was one of my chefs at the time. And he had dealt with depression for years and years and years. And then he started taking it, microdosing. It was a pretty big microdose, but he was taking it every day. And he did not have a cleanse out period. I will say that. He wasn't like eating it for 3 days and then going off for 4 days or whatever. And I really do truly think that the off period is important. Because he did it for like a year straight, and then it's like it wouldn't work for him anymore. He kept trying to eat it and eat more, and it just would not work. He just slumped into a worse depression than he'd ever been in. So I think it's important for us to realize that these are not magic bullets, and they do have effects on brain chemistry and other people. So you have to be careful. We have to be smart about it. Not just smart, but we have to be wise about it. And wisdom and intelligence are two very different things. Condensed might help catch viewers for the video. That's what I was thinking too. Wouldn't there be bacteria and microbiology that break it down? I think so on some medications, but not necessarily on everything. Some things don't break down well. Those SSRIs, I don't think break down very well. There's some mutagen, I can't remember, that's now in like every available water supply in America. Birth control is a huge problem. Hormonal birth control. I don't know if that's because things don't eat it or if because there's so much of it that it's become a problem. Slippery slope when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, talking about the microdosing and stuff. Yeah, you can't. It's not a crutch. It can't be a crutch. It's a good tool. I feel like therapists are using it for people to process trauma, to process what's making them depressed. But that's the thing. Like, you can't just take mushrooms, not work on what's making you depressed. If you use it, I feel like, to help you figure out what's making you depressed, and then use it to make changes in your life, that's a very different thing. So, PFAs, okay, yeah. Don't the slits next to the exhaust cause it to suck air from there rather than when you were planning to put the humidifier? Actually, I don't know. The answer is it's not going to matter. The short answer is it's not going to matter because the fan's going to pull so much air that it's going to pull from the entire thing. You can watch. The 10-gallon video is a little smaller. The 10-gallon environment's a little smaller, so that's one thing. But you'll see the fan will pull far more than what that little air hole can do. So MOAIs, maybe I can't remember what MOAIs are. So it's an inhibitor, but I can't remember. I know this. It doesn't really matter. The good news is it's been 2 hours. I do need to do the code real quick. Let me stop sharing that laser. And let me go to Bluehost so that I can get you guys your code. I can't remember what it is. It's something like Garden 20 or something. I hate two-step verification, except it keeps my stuff safe. But it's so annoying. Yeah, it's a small code. It's not 20. I said that wrong. Because it does stack, and I can't. It's like 5% code for hanging out with me or something like that. It will stack with the 20% code. Just let me find it. I didn't put it in a banner this time. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors. Oh, like orange and chocolate and stuff? Let's see. I'll make this good until the same as the podcast one. Okay, it's just Garden 5. And it's like a 5%. It's 5% off. I can put it in a banner. Oh, nope, that's not it. Oh, that one does work. That one definitely does work still. Because that's the one with Josiah. Not Josiah, with... sorry, I'm doing two things. With Josh McGinnis. There you go. Save 5% with discount code Garden5. Took me like forever to spell that right. Doesn't work, so he says, lol. Sorry for it. Wait, what doesn't work? The key is knowing how big of a dose to take. I mean, that is one key for sure. That is definitely a thing. So sorry for bringing up BS. I don't understand what's BS. But there you guys go. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. That's all I'm going to do for today. I'll start working on the dirt stuff tomorrow, or I don't know, maybe in a couple of days. I still got to get the peppers going, so I've got to get a bunch of the mushroom compost. I've got to get the spent compost, pulled out and put in bags and cooked to start my pepper seedlings on. Which I'll then also inoculate that with wine cap as well. And then I got to finish this. I got to plug up all the automation, get that going. So we'll do another one of these if you guys are interested. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll just go ahead and head off and go hang out with the family now that it's, oh my gosh, almost 8 o'clock. I'm going to have to start. Yeah, we got to all start up stuff. But thanks, guys, for hanging out. See you later.